y'all, welcome to Cooking on the Farm. I'm Rachel and my brother-in-law is with us today. This is Nathan. As you notice, I am higher than I normally am. This is me, normal height. So we on a stool and the air is thin up here, guys. Like I might need like oxygen. We are making fudge. This is David's, like, I've got to have it. This is also my dad's got to have it, and chocolate chip cookies, but
thank you.
It's quite a process. So Nathan's gonna help me. Let's come on in and I'll show you our ingredients. In your pot, you're gonna need 4.5 cups of sugar and 1 can of evaporated milk, 12 ounces. In a heat-safe bowl. Keyword, heat-safe here. You are gonna need 1 jar of marshmallow fluff, 7 to 10 ounces, depending on how much marshmallow fluff you want. You're gonna need a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Y'all know I'm gonna use more. You're gonna need 2 sticks of butter, chopped up, sliced, whatever. You're gonna need 1 12-ounce pack of chocolate chips, semi-sweet. Has to be semi-sweet here, y'all. And then 1 giant 12-ounce bar. And then walnuts. You're gonna need about a 1/2 cup, chopped up. Our pan, you're also gonna need a jelly pan or a 1/2 cookie sheet. And it's buttered. Like thick layer, caked on butter. So Nathan's gonna be chopping this chocolate and dumping it in here. And then he's also gonna use a spatula and take this and put it in there. And that's a process in itself. So you guys can laugh at him and make comments in the description because this is fun. This was my job growing up. I pass the baton. So I do not have a pop thing anymore, so I'm just gonna pop 2 sides. Why is that not even going?
I couldn't tell you.
So if you pop 2 sides, air can go in, and then it comes out faster. All right, so 4.5 cups in here, and then this whole kit and caboodle. Looks like sand in here when you get sand wet on the beach. Anyway, I am going to take a whisk. I'm not getting air in here, I'm just keeping it moving. So I'm gonna put it on my lowest burner on the medium-high heat. And this is just gonna melt down. This has to boil, stirring constantly for 12 minutes. So once it comes to a boil, you stir it constantly and it boils. If you do if you half this recipe, you boil half the time, 6 minutes. So once it's completely stirred in, there's no white lumpies, you can kind of, this is when you can, if you're doing this by yourself, you chop your chocolate, chop your butter, all that stuff. Keep it in eye. This is not when you're gonna go turn the TV on for the kids, answer the phone. I mean, unless you have it on speakerphone right next to you. You stay close and just stir it occasionally. Again, when you see those bubbles starting, you're gonna start along the sides, you're gonna set your timer for 12 minutes. All right, so I'm just gonna put my butter in here. Again, still watching that. This was never my job until I was old enough to realize that sugar boiling is like lava. You do not want to have little guys do this. They can be, you know, over here mixing this or whatever. They can butter your pan, but not, this is very, very careful here. As I'm stirring it, it's not as thick as it was. It's more runny. Like my sugar's melting pretty quickly. I can feel the heat, you know, actually coming up the pot before it was up the sides. So we're thinning out pretty good. And it feels very, like, if I don't stir for a little bit and then start stirring, it feels very, very, very liquidy on the bottom. So we are very close to boiling here. So I try to keep the marshmallow fluff toward the center of the bowl because the lava is going to get dumped in here. And so I try to make sure like butter is kind of spread out along my sides so that it doesn't become a sticky, I mean, it's going to become a sticky gooey mess, but less of a sticky gooey mess. All right, I got that in there.
I'm just about minced everything together.
Vanilla, it says a 1/2 teaspoon. Y'all know that I don't measure my vanilla, so.
A little extra.
We'll do a teaspoon, teaspoon and a half. When you're baking other things, precise, vanilla, you have to use salted butter, otherwise you will have to add salt. So just use salted butter and then you don't have to do math. It's still not bubbling, it's getting close. Like I'm getting a lot of this foamy stuff.
It looks delicious. It's a lot of chocolate. What's not to like?
So we've been getting nuts from Azure Standard. So I vacuum seal them. I just use old button tops and put the lid on that thing, or put them together.
Do I screw it on?
Screw it on. You know, because they send you like a 5-pound bag, I think is it what it is. And I've just been putting them in quarts, some in pints for, you know, whatever. All right, so put your hand over the top or you're gonna get shot in the eye. This is actually starting to increase a little bit in volume. So it's, as the sugar molecules have broken down, now they're heating up and they're kind of separating. So you'll see this pan's gonna get super full. We just started boiling, 12 minutes. You're just gonna keep moving this around. You're gonna go around their sides. You're gonna go through the center. See how it's getting fuller? I'm gonna turn my heat down to medium low. If I have to, you just take it off the burner, it drops down pretty quickly. See that? Works down pretty quickly. So when I was little, my mom had a kitchen where the stove was kind of back there and then she had this huge island, and I would sit on the counter because, hello, I'm short. I was shorter back then. I stopped at 6th grade, so I tapped out. I would take the butter and I'd pinch it and with the chocolate, so they were like, all the chocolate was covered, and then by the time I was done, my hands were like, you know, melted chocolate butter. But I wouldn't lick them because I didn't like chocolate. So my mom's like, who's gonna lick those for you? I'm like, there you go.
Have at them.
Good job. I did put a heating pad under this because glass on cold counter. This is lava being poured in here. So if you're doing this yourself, just be really careful. He's gonna pour it right in the center, and then I'm gonna get in here and stir. So I'm gonna step back. Okay.
Dump it all in.
So now you're just gonna slowly stir in. It's kind of like if you've made a glaze or something like that. You put your chocolate in and you pour your hot milk over it, or cream. There you go. So I'm just slowly stirring. I'm not worried about scraping the bottom at all. I'm just worried about getting everything stirred in. I've not had someone help me with this since I moved out of my parents' house. So this was a treat for me that I didn't have to stir that. All right, so I've got a couple little butter chunks, chocolate chunks left. So I keep stirring and finding more chunks. You do not want to dump it into your cookie sheet until it is like done. This looks like I got it all. So now I am gonna just dump this guy into this guy, and then we'll put our nuts in a little bit. You wanna get it into the corners. So I'm just gonna kind of give these guys a little swirly.
Swirly.
So what we used to do is pour half of it in and then mix the nuts in the other little bit of the bowl, and then like you're holding the tray up, tipping upwise, and then, you know, go from there. But you know what? This works. Like, it's not like we have nut allergies that I'm worrying about. Pack it in, make sure everybody's under or stuck. Try it.
Taste it. Give it a taste test.
Okay, I'll
Oh, you don't like nuts,
use
though?
my finger. No, I don't mind.
Oh, okay.
Tastes like fudge.
So we finished. It is now gonna cool. You can cool it on your counter, or you can put it in your fridge. I'm probably gonna put it in the fridge because we have little sticky fingers in the other room, and David's standing right here too. It is almost midnight, if I'm being honest. I'm exhausted. Nathan went to bed. He flew from North Carolina to Washington State last night and got in super late. So he's got jet lag and just not feeling 100% awake. So I'm like, I got this. So you can see we've had some little mice problem here. We watched a movie tonight. We watched something really good, Christmas movie, one that I hadn't seen before. So we're gonna work with this. Okay, you can store this in the fridge if it is wrapped really tight and your fridge doesn't smell. It does freeze really, 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 really well. So if you're taking this somewhere, cut it up and then put it, which is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it with parchment paper between the layers and we're gonna take it on vacation with us. All right, so I'm literally just gonna cut. It slices so easy. And this is really, 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 really rich. So you do not want huge honking pieces. Said the amount of nuts was perfect. She loved them. She's like, it tastes like they're all on top, but I'm like, I mixed them. She's like, well, they didn't mix well. I'm like, not my fault. Like I said, normally, when I was little, I would hold the pan like this and balance it to like it was here, and she would have, some out in another bowl, mix the nuts in, and then she would pour here, and I'm watching the no overflowing part. And then I drop it down, and it was a whole too much work. I always try to do a 1 to 2 bite. I have a not super small mouth, but this is so rich, and David's gonna probably butt in and say no, but I can't pop the whole thing in my mouth without being like, oh my gosh, it's so sweet. I just take a little bite, and then I hold on it, starts it melting, and anyway, David just.
It's bite size.
So I like it because it gets a little, like, the top layer, let's see if you can hear it. It's a little crisp, but it's still, like, super soft and just pliable. It's finger looking good. It's so good. I am just going to put my plastic wrap back on it, put it back on my counter. And then tomorrow morning, I have some really cute little tins. Let me show you. I got these really, really cute little tins. And I think I did this, was last year or the year before. I can get 4 layers. So, that is my plan. From my kitchen to yours. I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas. Try this fudge. You will never look at store-bought fudge the same way. All right. Bye, guys. God bless.
Yay!
All right.
I can't jump, otherwise I'll jump out of this.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to Cooking on the Farm. I'm Rachel, and stop it.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. We didn't go over what I was supposed to do.
Go. Hey-ho!
Okay, so just stand here. Okay, I can't touch my arms because then I'll get dirty again.
Put your hands like this on the counter. That's what I've done.
All right.
That's what I did to get used to it. All right. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Cooking on the Farm. Stop it!
David, don't make me laugh.
Ready?
It's a spatula baton.
I passed the spatula. Whack. Can go chop your chicken. No, it's
the spatula.
You can lick this.
It was reverted away from me. No spatula for me.
How much salt should we use if it's?
I have no idea. Use salted butter.
Salted butter.
Get your sides scraped. Woo! See? Tippy whiz.